The 2023 Atlantic hurricane season has officially come to an end. I want to show you just how unusual of a season it was. Canadians experienced a unique year, especially when we look at forecasted tracks of tropical systems. The North American region that was most frequently in a tropical forecast cone was none other than Canada's Bay of Fundy, which is super weird, so let me break this down. This is a forecast cone, which represents the probable track a storm will take. It gets updated frequently by the National Hurricane Center throughout a storm's life cycle. Something really cool happens when we take all of the tropical and hurricane advisories and overlap them just like this. Doing this for every storm in 2023 looks something like this. And if we zoom into North America, you can see the darker blues over top of Maine and the Bay of Fundy. But there's a clear lack of storms around the Gulf of Mexico and southern Florida, which are typically tropical storm targets. So why is this? 2023 had two dominant drivers that conflicted one another. The first was El Niño, which typically leads to less active tropical storm season because of higher wind shear. But the other was record-breaking ocean temperature waters on the Atlantic side, which fuels more storms and stronger ones. Often, one would out-edge the other, and when it came to the Gulf of Mexico, El Niño's higher wind shear kept it rather unfavorable for most of the season, except when it came to Adalia. Adalia was the first major hurricane to make landfall in Florida's Big Bend region. The storm intensified as it moved north through the Gulf of Mexico, peaking at Category 4 strength, but making landfall at Category 3 strength on August 30th. Winds topped over 200 kilometers per hour, with damages extending all the way into the neighboring state of Georgia. Extensive flooding was felt too, with a storm surge of 7 to 12 feet. Experts say the storm surge could have been even worse, but thankfully the storm's landfall was timed during low tide. Adalia was not the strongest storm of 2023. That belongs to Hurricane Lee, a storm that Canadians know all too well. Hurricane Lee was a powerful, long-lived storm that explosively developed into a major Category 5 hurricane in just over 24 hours. Lee accelerated northwards, decreasing its strength on its way to Canada. All of that Category 5 energy that was tightly wrapped up, well, it expanded and formed a massive tropical wind field and rough surf all the way up the eastern seaboard. Lee made landfall in Nova Scotia as an extratropical storm on September 16th. It wiped out power to hundreds of thousands, grounded flights, and left tree damage in its wake. Adalia and Lee were two of few storms that made landfall in 2023. Others included Tammy, Ophelia, Harold, and also Franklin, which proved to be deadly in the Dominican Republic. Another notable pair of storms was Brett and Cindy, who formed simultaneously off of West Africa, making it the first time on record two Atlantic tropical storms have formed here in June. The number of named storms hit 20, pushing 2023 into the top 4 for most named storms on record. It's clear the warm ocean waters was the dominant driver because these numbers of a more active season are very uncharacteristic of an El Niño hurricane season. Just because 2023's season is done on paper does not always mean we are done with tropical storms. December and January have seen some rare off-season storms, including Category 1 strength Hurricane Alex back on 2016. The new season will start in 2024 on June 1st, where the fingerprints of El Niño and warm ocean waters will battle it out once again.